for traveling are as varied as the destinations you can visit. Joining us today is Rene Woodhead, who has a very unique passion that has taken her around to the country's highest points. Rene, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Okay, so I've actually never heard of HighPointing.
Most people haven't.
So tell me what that is.
So HighPointing is when you go to the highest geological location in every state. In some states, Florida for instance, it's basically a parking lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in others, it's 14,000 plus feet mountain. And even in Alaska, it's even more than that. But right now I'm focused on the lower 48.
So tell me how you got started in this.
I was working as a bartender at a restaurant in Florida, and I had two regulars that would come in, and they had already begun their high-pointing adventure. They'd traveled, I think, 15 or 20 of them, but they'd never been camping, and they knew that I knew about camping and outdoor survival and that sort of thing, and so they asked me if I would be interested in going with them. And I wasn't quite sure, but then a couple weeks later, I flew up to New Jersey because my grandfather was in the hospital. And I told him about this idea and how I wanted to create a photo book, you know, one of those coffee table books of all the different places. And he looked me dead in the eyes and he said, the reason I am not afraid to die right now is because I've done everything I wanted to do in my life.
Chills.
3 days later, I did my very first high point with him in New Jersey.
Really?
Straight out of the ICU.
See, Grandpa, they always have words of wisdom.
Me too.
So what are some of the things that are challenging about this?
It's varied. You know, certain locations, it's just the physicality of it. There's the one that I'm going to attempt again this summer in Wyoming. It's a 50-mile hike.
Oh, wow.
And you have 50 pounds on your back, and sometimes it's snowing, and sometimes it's muddy, and it just is, it's very physical. Other things, for instance, in Illinois, the high point is on someone's private property, and they only allow high pointers to visit 2 weekends out of the entire year.
Really?
So if you're going to go there, you have to plan it around those 2 weekends. So.
Oh, wow. Do you have to train a lot before you go to one of these places?
You do, and that's one of the things that's really tough about living in Florida is because there aren't
places
really
to
any
train
mountains to train there.
I live in Florida, so I understand.
Yeah, it's, you know, the dump. You can go to the dump and climb the dump. The other thing is that with the oxygen levels being lower at higher elevations, it's difficult with that too. So I generally just end up with a really big pack on my back, walking up and down the beach with people staring at me, strangely.
What are some of the places that have been your absolute favorite?
Oh gosh, all of them. It's been kind of the amalgamation of the entire experience. Just seeing the country has been amazing. The most rewarding was definitely Mount Rainier. It took 2 tries.
Really?
Yeah, and it was physically brutal.
Really?
There were moments where in my head I was thinking, pick up your left foot, put it down. Pick up your right foot, put it down, just to get to the top of that mountain. And when I got up there, there was nothing like it.
It was worth all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, are you with a group while you're doing this? Or are you kind of like in pairs? How are you usually?
It's dependent on the location. Like I said, my first high point was with my grandfather because you can drive up until about 50 yards where you just walk up a hill. Some of them have been with 3 or 4 people, and it depends on the location. It depends on the availability. Most people don't have the freedom to travel the way that I do, and so they have to work it around their jobs and that sort of thing. So not everybody can go to all of the trips, so it depends.
What's next for you?
I have not completed Wyoming and Montana, so this summer I am.
Oh, that sounds great. Oh, a summer there, that sounds wonderful.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm so looking forward to it.
Good. So where can people find more information about your adventures?
Well, my personal adventures are on Instagram. I am R Wood on Instagram, and if you're interested in high pointing in general, the High Pointers Association has a great website. It's called highpointers.org.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rene, and keep us posted on all your adventures.